Well, welcome everyone to today's webinar entitled Your Business in the Cloud. The time is now. My name is Chris Frantz and I'll be presenting with Sean Marvin. Some of the cloud topics we'll be discussing today, we're going to go through some introductions, a little bit more detail on myself and Sean and our businesses, the benefits of moving your business to the cloud, some migration strategies, some client success stories, and we'll also talk about what's it like if you are not working in the cloud, trying to do remote, homework. We'll talk about some of the pitfalls there, and then we'll wrap up. Okay. Who am I? This is Chris Frantz. I am the Regional President for Advance2000. I've been in IT a long time, 30 plus years. I've been a CIO. I've had just about every job in IT. I've worked at the big banks, technology companies, and so forth. I've written articles, I've written sections of books, I speak at various technology conferences, and I am a Buckeye. I am background in computer science. Sean, who's Sean Marvin?
Hi, I'm Sean Marvin, the founder of Cross Industries. I've got about 9 years in IT, started as a high school hobby, 8 years in the U.S. Army Reserves, and doing IT for a while now, and I've learned a little bit, but over about 7 years I developed my business and more to business. We started in residential with computer repair, so I've got a general grasp on the whole computer economy at this point, and basically 5 years attending and helping host a event group called Tech After 5. If you want to know more, contact me after the webinar.
All right, thanks, Sean. And I'm paranoid. I don't want to bump my my mic on my little headset here. Who is Advance2000? My company's been in business for, about 30 years now. We're about 180 people strong. The majority of those 80% are highly trained and certified IT engineers. The rest are, sales and support staff and such. We've got main offices in 8 cities. We work with partners, such as Sean and Cross Industries. And we've got clients all over North America and Canada. And in fact, now we've even got international clients. I tell people we're not chasing international work, but we have a lot of our clients that are in North America that have international operations, and we will support them. We operate 24/7, and we own 2 data centers. They're privately owned. The company's privately owned. And you can see here, this is a quote I like to include from our CEO, Brian Moab. What makes Advance2000 so unique is our culture, which drives trust, transparency, teamwork, and going to any length to make things right. Our #1 priority is to serve our clients. And it is absolutely true, particularly now in this coronavirus times. So Sean, why don't you tell us a little bit about your company?
Okay, so my company is a small MSP based in Charleston, South Carolina. Been in business about 9 years. Started with residential computer repair and doing the general device repair here and there, and then slowly developed a business model and a business game plan for moving forward. We've now got 7 employees serving the whole Southeast. We serve as basically all small business customers. It doesn't matter what industry they're in. So we have medical offices, we've got construction, as well as attorneys. So our techs are stationed in Charleston, Columbia, Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Now, our techs are already ready and fitted to go for most general work, but we have level 1 and level 2 help desks. So why don't we have a level 3? Because level 1 is a general inclusive. We can solve a problem quickly and efficiently. Level 2 is for anything that is escalated. We don't want to put any more burden by trying to make it difficult for our customers, so we make it simple. That is always our motto: affordable technology solutions, bringing it simple. If you have questions about it, you can always ask me as well after the webinar. Thank you.
Awesome. And I just will make a short comment on how did Sean and I meet. In fact, it was the Tech at 5 event that Sean was hosting. I'm actually in Charleston, South Carolina as well. That's where I physically live. And as I said, we've got offices all over the place. And a lot of businesses, yes, they do want to migrate to the cloud, but there is still I don't know, 5–10% of their IT that's still sitting in their office. So Sean and I work very closely to meet all of our clients' needs. And some of the markets, these are Advance2000 markets, but Sean Cross Industries also falls into the same categories. AEC stands for Architects, Engineers, and Construction. We do a lot of work in there. The education space, do a lot of work with K through 12, as well as higher ed, healthcare, doctors, and so forth, hospitals, professional services, could be anything. Any type of business that offers services. Government, do a lot of state and local government, manufacturing, accounting, and legal services. But these are some of our clients that have outsourced their business to us, so we end up kind of learning their industries. But we've got so many, I would call them one-offs that just have computer, services needs that we support as well. What we do, we are a private cloud computing company. Probably 30 years ago, we started out just like Sean did, building PCs in our founder's garage, and supporting them on site, setting up servers and phones. And now it's just getting so easy. You can get more IT bang for your buck doing a private cloud. So we still do have some clients that have their equipment on premise that we support, but more and more of them are moving to the cloud for some of the benefits that I'm going to be talking about here. We're also telephony experts, both on premise and hosted. Again, most people are realizing they don't have to invest as much money if they move it to a hosted cloud-based system, and we do that as well. And then we do a lot of IT strategy and risk assessments. They're consulting. So a lot of times people, don't know, should I go to the cloud? Should I move everything to the cloud? Should I go hybrid? Should I stay local? And that's kind of what our IT strategy does. We look at everything. We look at your business, where you want to go, and figure out the best roadmap to get there. All right, now I'm going to get into some of the benefits of the business in the cloud. We're in this lockdown now. Both Sean and I are in our homes, and as well as you all probably listening to this. This is what April 9th of 2020. I'm not sure when you'll be listening to this, whether it be locked down, but these benefits apply whether we're in a quarantine mode or not. So what we're talking about here is taking all of your applications that you need to run your business, installing them on a supported Windows 10 virtual desktop in our private cloud in our data center, and you allow everybody to work no matter where they're at. So you could be in their office, here in the chart I have, you could be in Atlanta, you could be in Charleston, you could be remote at home where we are now, or you could be moving around in a hotel, et cetera, California. We're able to bring together home workers, office locations, and even suppliers, people that are outside of your company during this, COVID-19 quarantine and beyond. A lot of our clients had already moved their business to the cloud before this quarantine, and they are so thankful they did that, because now it was just a matter of changing their location. It's like, okay, I can't go into the office. I'll just go at home, plug in. And I'm actually going to log into our cloud desktop here just real briefly so you can kind of see what that experience is like. It gives you full mobility. You can access it from anywhere. There's a lot of people that are road warriors that travel a lot. They need to be able to get to their information. No data movement. This might not seem like a big deal, but some industries have a lot of data, multiple terabytes. Even a small, 5-person firm, they have documents that they do not want to lose. And when you're moving data around, it's slow to open them up. It's slow to save. We just, we don't have to do any of that when it's in the cloud. The data is stationary. You can have your applications sitting right next to your data, your file server that's sitting in the cloud, and it's all backed up and protected. You don't have to worry about losing your laptop with all your files on it or everything, and you can go move around and have no access issues. IT staff redundancy and 24/7 coverage. Most small businesses, they are lucky if they have an IT person on staff, one person. Most of them, however, employ the services like Sean, Cross Industries, to come in, a few times a week, pay them on an hourly basis to do that. Well, if something happens to your IT person, say, they get sick, they're in the hospital, what do? You're kind of stuck. And hopefully if you have a relationship with an IT firm, they have multiple people, such as Sean in Advance2000. But that's really what we bring. So even the smallest firms, we document, all their passwords, all their configurations, so that no matter what happens to an IT person, if the economy starts heating up again, IT people move around, change jobs, you don't have to worry about your business functioning. We give you the IT staff redundancy and 24/7 coverage. You can call us at 2 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Day, and our engineers and network operations centers are available, and we will, as Sean mentioned, we have tier 1, 2, and 3 engineering support that we serve our customer. In fact, well, I'm thinking of it. I'll talk about Mashburn as one of our client case studies, but that was one of the things that the CFO told me. He goes, all this great technology that you guys have. He goes, what the one thing that I like the most about moving to the cloud? He says, I can get a hold of anybody any time of the day or night in like less than 60 seconds. And he says, I love that. So that's what the IT staff redundancy gives you. Business continuity and disaster recovery. It's baked in. We are in a disaster right now, a medical disaster. And, a lot of people were looking at prior to, finding our cloud, well, I'm going to have this space in this data center, and I'm going to, build out some workstations and servers, and I got to have it ready in case I can't get into my office. Well, when you have this separate environment, you're always paying for it, even when you're not using it. So if you never have this disaster, you're spending all this money. Whereas if you're in the cloud, we work real hard on the business continuity. What that means is a disaster is something that may never happen, like a fire or a flood. Business continuity are things that, I'll call them technology flakeouts that happened all the time. Your server crashes, you lose a hard drive. What kind of redundancies can you put in place so that you can continue your business operations just because you have a technology failure? So when we have, multiple hosts, multiple computer servers that we run virtual desktops, multiple storage options, your storage in the cloud is mirrored at least 3 times, as well as its snapshot backups to a different data center, which is 20 miles apart. And so because of all this business continuity and remote capabilities that were already built into your cloud, you're protected. You don't need any other disaster recovery. And there's different levels. Some people say, well, I want to have one place in North America and one place in, maybe Canada, one place in Europe. We can certainly do that, but most small businesses do not need that level of disaster and business continuity. So that's included in the cloud. IT infrastructure cost consolidation. If you, I would say if you're a small, say 3-person firm in one location, you can afford to move to the cloud, but you're not going to save a lot of money. It's going to be about the same amount of money you're spending, but you're going to get more for your money. If you've got 2, 3, 5 offices with people kind of scattered all over the place, you have a huge opportunity to consolidate your infrastructure. I tell CEOs and CFOs, one office of IT costs less than 5. It's just that simple. When you put everything into one location, you can consolidate. You only need 1 2-terabyte file server. You don't need 5 of them in each location. You can have, one set of staff taking care of the server in one location. You don't have to have people spread out all over the place. There's just tremendous amount of cost savings because you're able to consolidate. Some of our larger clients that are running around 10, 12 offices, they've saved upwards of 40% of their annual IT spend. So it's significant. And then hosted phones, I mentioned this, VoIP. A lot of our clients that still have their phone systems on premise have what's called a T1 or a PRI circuit going in to provide the dial tone. Well, when you host your phones, we've got one massive circuit. It's called a SIP circuit, SIP, coming into our data center that all of our customers' dial tones come in on. So you've got this economies of scale. You can get, shut off all these local PRIs and basically get a free phone system if you're still operating like that. So there's a lot of benefits. And right now, the one that kind of goes to the forefront is the mobility, so that we can work from home. Migration strategies. So people say, oh, this is great, Chris. How do I get there? Well, there's not one set path for every customer. We really, based on that IT strategy that I mentioned earlier, we take that. We usually the first step is IT assessment, so we can kind of figure out what you have. is there anything that you purchased an investment that we can use, we can leverage going forward? So we kind of put this plan in place on how best to migrate you. And so I'll kind of go over the three options here. There's project based. You can say, all right, well, I've got 50 people in my firm. You know, not everybody needs, you know, to work in the cloud or remote. You know, maybe I got, you know, 20 people for this one critical project. So we just set up a cloud for those 20 people, you know, get all the applications they need. We create what we call a template, you know, workstation virtual desktop, and then we clone the 20 off of that you know, template. And that way, and then once it's built, we load up all your data. Of course, working with your IT to do that if you have IT, and then we hand you the logins. You start working. The phased hybrid, you know, say you've got we've got a large client that, you know, just you know, bought new $10,000 workstations sitting in their offices, but they had some consultants, people in their supply chain that they wanted to collaborate with, and they bought the cloud for the consultants, and they stayed locally, and we connected them together through a Panzura technology. So it's a kind of a syncing technology. So we're able to leverage existing you know, investments. Sometimes people say, look, I just bought a new server and new desktops. I can't really go to the cloud right now, but I really need a new phone system. So, you know, we start there. We move their phone system into the cloud. So part of their business is in the cloud, part of it's still local, but they've got a kind of roadmap, a plan. As things start to age out locally, they can move them. One of our clients even said that, you know, look, I would love to go to the cloud, but I just bought a $200,000 storage area network. And I said, fine, no problem. We can actually relocate your storage area network from your location to our data center, wrap some virtual desktops and any other, you know, services around it, and, you know, just charge you a small hosting fee for your device, you know, and then when that thing ages out in 5 or 6 years, then we can talk about cloud storage or some other options. So there's different ways to do this. And then the last option is what I call the big bang, or all in. You know, I've had calls, you know, 30-person firm that says, how fast can you move my whole company to the cloud? We want to start working like this. And we just go through the planning stages. It takes a few weeks to build out the environment. You know, the client tests it, make sure everything looks good. And we usually shut down their local stuff on a Friday night, and then move everybody over a weekend. And then Monday morning they log in and everything's working. And we've done that up to 200 people over a weekend with no problem. And that's a micro. I think I'm gonna. And this image on the right is kind of the Windows way you log in, but I'm actually going to stop this and actually show you what it looks like before I get into the client. And so I'm on a Mac. You can see this is the VMware Horizon client. So I'm at home. I'm on my and it's better unless you have a really good Wi-Fi network at home. We recommend, and, you know, they're generally consumer routers, you know, plug in wired to the network. So I'm going to log into, I'm wired into my home router. So. And then it brings you in, logs in. I'll just leave this, if I can go big. So this is a virtual desktop. It's actually running in New York, and I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. So, you know, this is an engineering, you know, CAD, you know, 3D CAD drawing thing. So that runs just fine. I just wanted to kind of show you the specs here. On this one, it's a Windows 10 machine. Let's see, well, I've got 32 gigs of RAM, 64-bit operating system. So this is a pretty beefy machine. You know, we've got some clients that are, you know, running their admins on a, you know, 8 gig, you know, memory computer, and this one's got a graphics card in it as well to do some of that engineering work. You can type, you know, type letters just like you do, and I can spell. You can still make typos even in the cloud. And then this is the you know, it's just a Windows. This is the file explorer. So I don't have any network drives, but this is where they would show up. You could have a P drive or an S drive. So you can have somebody sitting in Charleston, somebody sitting in New York, somebody in Atlanta, somebody in Los Angeles, and they're all working on the same file system. So if I open up a file and it's locked, then everybody else sees that it's locked. You don't have this syncing problem. And then lastly, I'll just show you. So also in the cloud, now this all depends on how much bandwidth the client purchases in the data center, but Advance2000 is also an ISP. So I can actually, I'm on my cloud desktop hitting the internet. I'm actually got pretty good I got better bandwidth from my cloud desktop hitting the internet than I have at my home network hitting the internet. So you've got a lot of options. I know a lot of clients will go, jump on their cloud desktop just to get work done because it's faster. And you can see it looks like my upload speed's even better. So you get the idea. And then when you're done, say you have some calculation running or you got some program running, you can just disconnect and I'm off the cloud desktop, but it's actually still running in the data center. You can reconnect and it'll be complete. So that's basically how the people are working right now in this environment. Client success stories. These are a few clients. I just want to highlight what they've done. Particularly Fitzpatrick Engineering, Doug Fitzpatrick called me. They were already an all-in cloud client of ours. And he said, I can easily go home and work, but my handsets, they purchased the phones handsets with the conference calling capabilities. He goes, I want to bring my phones home. Can I do that? And I go, sure. All you need is a power supply because they had PoE switches in the office. We sold them, I think there's 10 or 12, 12 here. Power supplies, they were like $15 each. He plugged it in at home, plugged in the network cable, and boom, phone fired right up. So he says, this is really cool. He says, my 4-digit conference extensions work. I can talk to my employees from their homes, and a client calls us, I can transfer phones. And he says, this is really cool. So it really helped him out there. So they're working at home just like they were in the office. Harrison Design, this 112 cloud desktops, several locations. They had, I think, 6 locations from LA to Florida to Atlanta up to New York City. And they had started their cloud migration at the end of last year. And we had just finished it, and boom, this lockdown hit. So they go, oh, we're so thankful we got all this done, because it would have been very difficult to work like this with everything still locally. Here in Charleston, we did a multi-factor email authentication. Security is I'll touch on that here in a minute. Security is real important, especially now. There's people trying to take advantage of the virus time, and we did something for CT Lounge to get them up and running. Mashburn Construction, 98 cloud desktops and data. They're working just fine in the cloud. And then a large, not allowed to, it's a NDA client. We're not allowed to disclose their name, but let's just say it's a large theme park operator, 800 project desktops, and that's the project cloud that I was talking about. Their people are working in their offices, and they have about 800 consultants they're working with, all sharing data in real time, and even through this lockdown. So there are some non-cloud pitfalls. What are some people doing to work remotely that aren't in the cloud? And I thought my friend Sean can walk us through this. You there, Sean? You're still, I think you're still muted.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So there are a couple of major pitfalls when you're not based in the cloud. One of these pitfalls can be VPN. A VPN is something like Chris has here in his notes. It's going to be slow to move data. And what happens if, let's say, you get an infection or a virus on your computer? The hackers are out there. They're looking to get whatever they can at this time because it's in a frantic mess. The world was not prepared for the coronavirus or COVID-19, and that's why everyone's trying to work from home. The problem is the lack of security. People aren't thinking it through. Chris's company at Advance2000, they plan this. They help people plan this. They know what they're doing. They have the years of experience to help you do it. But when you're doing this on a whim, this is where we come in. We've got customers we've set up in the past that we can do this for, and we always tell them to weigh the benefits of going to the cloud. If they can go to the cloud, we help assist them with moving to the cloud. A VPN can still be broken and breached. The second thing that we run into with this alongside security is, let's say they have a computer at home. They connect to the office. That's fine. It may or may not get an infection that carries over across that circuit. The second thing would be phones. Everyone has a desk phone. If you don't have a desk phone at your home, how are you receiving your normal calls to be productive with your job? You aren't. And forwarding to your cell phone just won't cut it. Your cell phone is something that's personal to you. Your desk phone is personal to you at your job. You can't carry that across. Like Chris said, a cloud voice solution would solve that solution. The second problem with having that is not all desk phones will work across a VPN. If you're in the cloud, it's already prepared and ready to go. Lastly, storage. You don't have unlimited storage on your desktop, especially not at your home. You probably want to save that for all your memories that you have, your pictures, your videos, and all that. You don't want that to interfere with work. When you go to the cloud, you have unlimited options. You can have 10 gigs, you can have 100 gigs, you can have a terabyte of space, all with a click of a button. And I believe that Advance2000 is the way to go. They can solve just about any problem by helping you move to the cloud.
All right, thanks, Sean.
You're
Security, I'm going to just talk high level because this is one of the first questions I get. Well, if I move my business to the cloud, is it secure? I've heard it's not. So there's public clouds and there's private clouds. The public cloud would be like your Amazon Web Services, Azure, etc. People are connecting over the internet. The private cloud, we own the data centers. Most of our clients have private circuits going into the data center, although we do support the internet as well. I'm not going to put into a recording all the detailed security protocols we have. That is confidential. It could be used against us by someone watching this, but we'll have those detailed security conversations with clients as we're going through the cloud migration process. But we have been, people ask me, are we SSAE 16 compliant? And I said we self-certify to those security standards. We have all kinds of people, all kinds of procedures, and we offer our clients to come in and audit us themselves to prove what we say is true, and they do. We've been audited by KPMG, we've been audited by SAIC to do a government federal project, and we passed with flying colors. A few things that we needed to change. Most of our clients, we do not encrypt all of their data at rest. We encrypt their tunnel going to the cloud in transit, but not at rest. Some of the high security projects needed encryption at rest, and as Sean says, we do that. We can solve that problem, so we've done that. So we've got multiple layers of security: physical security, virtual security, application security, and we do regular penetration tests. We try to we got the hacker tools, and we try to do the same things that the hackers do to us. And so by moving to our cloud, your firm, a small 3 or 5 person firm, there is no way you can afford the level of security we have, and that's all included with the security that you have when you go to the Advance2000 cloud. And wrap up, that's a video I did on the Wando River, and had to get out of my house. I was going stir crazy, but just kind of in summary, I want to wrap this up for Sean and I. Our offer is to move your business to our private cloud. You can do this as slow or as fast as you want. I have the desktop that I just showed you, the virtual desktop. We have free demos you can try. You can put your data, your applications up there and see how it might work for you, and kind of a try before you buy. Your business needs to keep running, even growing at these times. There are some opportunities out there. Your staff needs to be productive. They need to be able to collaborate. And you also need disaster recovery for no additional cost, even better. And how do you get this? Reach out to me or Sean, and we will take care of you. Again, thank you for attending this webinar. Sean, you want to say anything before we sign off?
Well, you nailed it on the head. It was pretty great. I like to say again, like he said, If you need to follow up with this, or if you have any questions whatsoever, questions are always good. We always want to give you the proper answers, but you need to ask the question first. Again, we love helping our customers, and if you're new to this or not current customer, we can still help. Like Chris said, they've got demos.
Awesome.
Let him show you a demo, and let's show you how this can work.
Awesome. Did we get any questions coming in, Sean?
Don't see any questions at this time. No questions at this time. I'll leave it open for just one more moment. I don't see any questions. I will say though, as a question that I have, for those that are currently on site, we help try and assist customers to the cloud. In your idea of moving to the cloud, your best suggestion is to make it simple for the customer, correct?
Correct. And we don't want to have them throw out everything that they have if it's perfectly good. We try to use their existing IT investments and see how we can leverage that. Now, obviously, if you can't work remotely right now and you really need to, that's the first thing we go to. We've been having to kind of short circuit some of our process because of this this lockdown. Because people say, you know, I do want to do an IT assessment. I want you to look at all of my IT, but right now I just need to get my phones at home, or right now I just need to get my desktop from my house. Can you help us right there? So that's kind of what we do. We start small. Some of our clients call us and say, I just need email for, $10 a month or whatever, and we move them to Office 365. We start there, and others say, hey, look, I need to move 100 people to the cloud within a month. Can you do it? So we just tailor it very specific to the client's needs.
All right, well, perfect. I think that's it. I don't see any further questions in. I love this webinar, and we'll be doing another one next month, I believe, on the 13th at noon for any of those that are interested. Again, this is going to be a similar webinar next month as well. So for those looking to reattend, go ahead and sign up. We'll send out the links soon. Chris, do you have anything else?
I'm good. Let's wrap. Thanks, Sean.
All right, perfect. Thank you, everyone, for attending, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
All right,
have a
take
wonderful
care.
day. Bye-bye.
Bye.